So hi, now I'm here at the Kuklase 12 apartment. Let's cover the topic of negotiation of real estate, more or less anywhere in the world. Some of the things might be quite obvious, but let's cover them anyway. So if you have some property in mind you want to buy, you have to ask yourself how many of those kind of properties are in existence. Let's say it's a very limited area and there are very few properties on sale in that area. So if you really want to have a way to negotiate, you have to be willing to walk away. So for example, but if you are not willing to walk away, your negotiation position is kind of weak. Let's say certain area and there's only one property on sale and you really want it. You have some reason to live there. You have no way to negotiate that price down, or you just have to be waiting. Maybe the person needs the money more in the future and he is willing to drop down the price. For example, he gets bankrupt or is insolvent. For example, land plot in Viimsi. Currently, they are not approving any planning permissions for Viimsi, new ones, because there is not enough water supply in the near future. So for example, if you want to buy a land plot in Viimsi, the supply is really limited because you are just limited to those which are built currently. So no new land plots with planning permissions are going to be available. And you still have to ask your question, okay, but if Viimsi has some kind of water issues in the future, do you want to be living there? So this is kind of every negotiation is very particular or on any client's wish, on a particular client's wish. So it's impossible to give generic advice. Okay, do this or do that. So the first topic we covered is how limited you are in your area or type of property. And sometimes, for example, if you buy a property, don't make it too specific. For example, if you have some very specific taste, like you want one room to be blue, the other red, and is very particular taste, this is going to be a hard sell, because you have to find a very particular person who likes what you like. But if you are building things which are appealing to more people, this increases your market. So my advice would be for you to be looking not only in the immediate, what is popular currently, but to look also into the future. So few advices that people are getting older in Estonia. So there are a lot of buildings without elevators. So avoid those. They're still building new buildings without elevators. Also not good idea, because soon, in 10 years, most of the people will be over 60 who are living in Estonia. So you really have a limited demand for this kind of no elevator apartment buildings. Also for families with small kids, nobody wants 4th floor without an elevator. But having said that, the same thing is the same apartment near an area where your potential renter is a student, no problem. 4th, 5th floor, young people are going to rent it. So look also into the future, and climate change is also a thing to consider. Summers are getting warmer. What kind of options do you have to cooling down? Heating is also important. So different sources of heating is also important, because the energy demand has been very different. Here is an example. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, wood burning stoves were very popular in Tartu because it was very cheap, the wood was very cheap, and it brought the living costs down. So renters were looking, students were actively looking for heating with wood burning stoves. So because they did not have money, it was cheap. Now last year the gas prices went up 7 to 10 times, but few years ago the central heating based on gas. So everybody, if you had a gas, you could make a system to heat your own apartment with a gas or house, or it was very popular because it was cheap. But last year changed that. Some time ago, electric heating was because of cheap electricity was very popular. So these kind of things change over time. Even if something is very popular because it's cheap today, it might not be in the future. But if you look forward and you can guess those kind of things, you are better suited to sell your property later into the future. So let's keep it short. That were my tips on negotiation and what you need to be mindful of. But always is better to employ a professional to negotiate on your behalf, because we have a lot more information day in, day out. We're thinking and breathing real estate and thinking about the future, having information from the past, and not only my experience but the experience of my colleagues too. So okay, that's it. See you in another video. Like, share, subscribe.